to you every Wednesday night. And it's gonna be as wild as it can be, with no apology. And you're gonna love the show. They're all their own wildflowers. Bonnie answers calls and comments on the phone, right alongside best friend Mandy Jones. They'll be talking, laughing, shouting, and shaking their fists. Bonnie and Mandy. Make sure you're always watching, or you could miss it if they ever kiss. Those two wildflowers did what they had to do, and now they're free. And it's gonna be as wild as it can be, with no apology. 7:30 Wednesday night, they're on the air, Wildflowers. And you know you'll love the show on Facebook Live, Wildflowers. Bonnie Scalisi and Mandy Jones, Wildflowers. Flowers.
Oh, Mandy has it.
Welcome, welcome, welcome. You're looking live at the Wildflowers. I'm Mandy Jones, the comedian, and as always, next to me is the beautiful
Bonnie Scalisi, how are you, everybody? Great to be back. I was Facebook jailed for 2 days, and it's great to be unjailed.
I know, Bonnie, you're free.
I'm
I
free.
haven't been, I've never been jailed before, in real life, physically, because I'm a woman. And in Facebook jail, because I've always gotten warned. They didn't even warn you.
No, they just silenced me.
So what's fucked up about that is now, like if you had okay, I don't have a kid, but like if you have a kid, you sit them down, you go, yo, this is not cool because of A, B, and C.
Right. I said, how can I learn?
They just say no time out today. Like, it's like, for what? Like, I was being an idiot all day. Like, I don't know what.
And not only that, but they didn't know how long it was going to last.
Right. It's usually
It was the not
time out
knowing.
is 5 minutes because you just hit your brother.
Right, exactly.
And then now we know that's not okay with Facebook, but they just literally yoinked her up. And Bonnie, you want to tell them what the topic is tonight?
Yes, our topic tonight is wildlife, and that is very broad because it can mean like wildlife with the nature. It could be wildlife in your nightlife. It could be anything that has to do with wildlife. So that is our topic tonight. So start. So get your stories ready. A whole bunch of our friends are already tuning in. Hi, Bill Hansen. Bill Hansen was in Facebook jail not too long ago, so he knows. Bruno Cupella, how are you? He said, good evening, beautiful girls. Our bestie, Robin DeVito, how are you? David Lange is saying, happy Wildflowers night, ladies. Thank you, David. And Jennifer Lentini, I just saw her on Saturday with Esther Forrester, and it was great to see you, Jennifer. You were looking amazing. So let's see. Mary Underhill, your mom is watching. She says, hello all. Adam Snare. He goes, what's up, Wild Broads? That's what we really should have named ourselves, Wild Broads. I like that better than Wildflowers. That's even more, that's really more direct. But yeah, I had an interesting week. How about you?
Yeah, I mean, everybody's been, I mean, you were, like you said, you were jailed.
Yeah, that sucked.
This is the 27th episode of the show. Oh, please subscribe to the Mandy Jones, the comedian, on YouTube, on Spotify. That's where you get all the Wildflowers stuff, as well as anything that Bonnie and I do in terms of stand-up. Calamity Jones Hour is every Friday from 8 to 9. Sometimes it's 9 to 10. It is 8 to 9 this week. But yeah, I don't really have much going on.
Hi, Marsha Fitzpatrick. How are you?
I do want to fucking salute Texas opening up businesses 100%.
100%?
That's what I heard.
Woo! I heard that April 2nd, the comedy clubs are allowed to reopen 35% capacities, but at least that's a start. So I was happy to hear that.
Yeah, because we gotta live, guys. Get busy living, or
You
you're
want,
fucking
yeah.
busy dying. Seriously.
If we can go out and see a concert,
And
we can go out and see comedy.
And honestly, if you're making a pizza or like doing something that's like over my food, please still wear a mask.
Yes.
You know what I mean? And all these places now are not gonna, like, a lot of that stuff's not gonna go back. But like the people going in who just wear the mask to from the door to the seat, they're gonna remove that kind of stuff.
Oh, really? Even in Texas?
Even in Texas.
I mean,
that's just what I heard.
Well,
I'm very misinformed. Like, I could be totally lying to you guys right now, but
Marsha Fitzpatrick
everything's bigger in Texas.
She's sharing from Indiana, and thank you for reminding me, Marsha. Can everyone please press the share button right now and share the show?
Oh, yeah.
We'd really appreciate it.
Well,
Did we share it on
Marsha,
our guest page?
I tagged his name. I wrote his name on there. I didn't take his phone from him physically.
Cedric Hooks, how are you?
Cedric said Texas is his home state.
Oh.
Yes.
Okay.
Look who's out of jail. Yes, Bonnie. They let her out.
They let me out. And then I posted like a fiend.
I know. I was like, she's going to get put back in. I was going to tell you to not post, but then
I went nuts.
I knew it would have been like reverse psychology with a kid. Like, if I was like, Bonnie, don't post, you'll get put in jail. You're like, watch me.
Exactly.
So I was just like, I'm just going to let her post.
And Jim Ray is saying, Jim, our other third partner from he said the comedy club should book me so the place will be packed. LOL. Yes, Jim, you do have a lot of really good friends, and I
a fat wallet, and you pay for your friends to come to the comedy shows, which all good comedians do.
David Lange is saying, is Mandy's mic transmitting? Bonnie sounds good, but Mandy sounds a little distant. I don't know. Yes, Bruno, I love Texas too. Everyone loves Texas. So should we introduce our guest?
Yeah, I think so.
Guest, we are really, really lucky to have this guest. Very excited about it. He is a comedian and a musician. I wanted to say a whole lot more, but he said, just say that.
Yeah.
Joe Currie.
Hi. Woo! Thank you. Glad to be here. They gave me a comfortable chair to sit in.
He said it was like an Archie Bunker chair.
It's hey there. They redid my chair. They made it there. Who did my chair here?
Started calling us dingbats automatically.
No. I was saying before, I feel like I'm an elderly person that they found. I'm cold. Where am I?
Yeah, it's a very comfortable chair.
Yeah, I like it. It's my chair when I come here.
That was that's been in my. It's funny, All in the Family. That has.
Oh, I love that show.
I love that show.
My family.
One of my favorite shows
Me
ever.
too.
My favorite show.
And David Lange is saying, it didn't mean to be the official roadie of the Wildflowers, but sound check. Oh, no, we appreciate when you say
it.
that.
And then and sometimes I think you guys are just fucking with me to see how much I'll fucking use a jacked up alligator clip to my bra.
Crepes.
My good friend Will Romero is watching, and we're going to be starting up a mic called the Jutino, because I'm Jewish and he's Latino, so that's going to be the name of our new mic. But we can't say anything about it, Will, just yet. That we have to keep that under wraps.
My mom saying I didn't want to say anything. My mom's tired of getting yelled at by me every time the sound. It's true, Amanda. Okay, Mom, thank you. Now another stranger has. How about since I took the little thing off, guys? How about now?
Can you hear her now? Can you? It's like that Verizon commercial. Can you hear me now?
Can you hear me now?
Now, I met you performing in the Little Room, and you were so nice to me. You were the host.
Well, yeah, but
and you were like, I said, stay close, because when I get up there, I get nervous, and sometimes I end before my time. And you're like, well, slow down.
Yeah.
And just, be confident and just say your piece and take your full time.
Yeah,
and I'm like,
full time.
Just be ready to get you off the stage.
Yeah, no, you work hard to get stage time. And when you're actually got it, I mean, look, believe me.
That's how we first met.
Yeah, believe me, it's like when I do stage time, I take every second and savor it. No, sometimes it's like, well, I'm done now. I got to go.
Yeah.
But it's like, if you got the stuff and you got the time, do the time, So many people go over their time, it's weird when
I
somebody go under
definitely
it.
never go over the time. I might go under the time, but never over. They said your sound is good. Thank you, Bruno. Jim Reyes said, Mike's wife is a ball buster as a judge now. I know why Mike complains. Jim, what are you talking
Yeah,
about?
Mike who?
This is Joe Currie, Jim. It's like,
Jim's out of his mind.
Yeah.
We are going to talk about
Wildlife.
Yes,
So
the
guys,
wildlife.
who has wildlife stories? I don't know if Nancy Weeman, I don't know if she's on here right now, but she lives out in Tennessee and she's always taking pictures of deer in her yard and birds.
That's how we got the ideas.
Yeah.
I mean, I know you're always taking pictures of deer.
Oh, and my babies, yes.
Do you feed them?
Yes.
Ah.
But don't tell the neighborhood.
I know that.
You
Yeah,
stay on the
that's
feed and they bait a deer a bait.
It's a whole thing. My sister started feeding deer when she had a house out in Center Riches, and she went to the local nursery and asking for deer food, and they were like, "For what?" Because they think you're gonna shoot them, and
Yeah,
she just
right.
wants to look at them, and she's like,
"Oh, it's kind of like a bait."
You got to tell her to go to Tractor Supply. Tractor Supply has crack corn, deer corn. And they're a good place.
And then no joke, 2 months later, her yard is infested with deer, and she's like, "Shoot them!
No,
shoot them!"
no. The deer that I had.
Big rodents. I'm like, you're fucking horrible person.
No, they get what happens is they turn into a bunch of princesses. Because we play this game. Like if I get up late, I'll open up my bedroom window and there's the deer like this, and I'm like, all right.
You like Cinderella getting up.
I'll be right out. I'll be right out. Let me get the crack one. Now there's a big game that we play. It's like, all right, I go outside. Oh, here comes the predator. Oh, the predator that feeds you. And then they run, but only run a certain amount. And then I put the food. Now they start coming back, and now I want to feed the birds. And then they get upset. Oh, gee, would you just sit there? I got to feed the birds. Hold on.
Everybody gets their moment.
Yeah,
to shine.
and then they come, and then they start eating and stuff like that. But the funny thing is, I got woods, and in the woods, maybe about 50 yards back, there's a fence. And this morning's the perfect thing. They're on the other side of the fence, and I throw the food. They give me a dirty look. I'm not Ubering this stuff to you. You're wild animals. I mean, really?
They should be lucky you're giving them anything.
Yeah.
Robin DeVito saying wildlife like having sex on the golf course. Yes, anything
Which
like that. Anything like that.
They call
we're starting with deer, and then we're going to work our way up to things
rabbits.
like that.
And that's what you call a hole in one. Get
Yes,
it?
yes.
Ayo.
And Jim, I still have no idea who Michael from Comedy is. So there's a million Michaels in comedy, I'm sure.
Yeah.
Do you know any Michael from Comedy? I don't know.
Michael from comedy. I've come from comedy. I brought a rubber chicken as well to prove.
Oh,
to
Michael Friedman. Okay, I didn't see Michael Friedman on Esther's show, so that's why I didn't get what you were talking about. Oh yeah, I remember he used to come into my open mic, and his whole bit about his wife. You would wonder why his wife was still alive. He talked such venom about her that it's amazing.
Oh,
he
I've
didn't
done
kill
that.
her.
I've done that one.
I think we've all done that with our spouses. So.
Oh boy. Yeah. When I was going.
If you're not openly talking about planning the murder, there's a problem.
Well,
If you're quietly planning the murder, there's a big problem. All right, so we'll just share how horrible I am. The other day, my husband says that he's like, if my black suit ever doesn't fit me, I get too fat. Like I've gotten too fat, and I need to start running or something. I was like, oh, wouldn't that be horrible? I was like, if I die, I'm gonna die, and you're gonna need to wear the black suit, and you're gonna be too fat, and you're not even gonna be able to fit in it.
He'll have to squeeze himself into it.
You're horrible.
You could wait till he decomposes a little bit, and then he should be fit right in here.
So Bruno says to Robin, "You want to go golfing?" That's pretty funny, Bruno. Jim Ray wants to know why you're drinking water. You should be drinking hard liquor.
Because I have to drive.
Yeah.
If you want to explain to the police.
Yeah. Jim was saying he had an Uber because when he was our guest, he was drinking hard liquor. That's right. So I actually pulled up right behind him at in front of Mandy's house. Yeah. So
did he have an Uber because he doesn't have a car, or an Uber that he just was going to be totally drunk?
Jim's job has it arranges for him to be picked up by an Uber thing.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay. Interesting. What kind of occupation could that be?
We're not gonna extrapolate on that one.
Does it have to do with crime?
Bruno, hashtag Uber.
We'll come and get you. Just
Late
stay
Night
right
Chauffeurs. I think it's the name of the company, Late Night Chauffeurs. They
Gotcha.
drove his car home. So he drives the car here. They come and he gives them the keys and they drive him home and somebody else drives his car home. It's very interesting, Jim. Jim Ray is quite a character.
The show's only an hour. Can you wait? Look, believe me, I love drinking, but I like responsibility too.
I'm in the middle.
Speaking of responsibility, you have cats, right?
No cats. No cats.
Aren't you posting pictures of cats ever?
If I see somebody's cat on there,
Friend's
cats. I'll comment on Fred's cat. I just crazy about it. I have the two cats that I do post. Anthony Cumier of Opie and Auntie is one of my best friends, and he's got his big house. He's got two Bengal cats.
Okay.
Beavis and you have Neo.
Oh, it should be Butthead.
Yeah. Well, Beavis could be a butthead sometimes, but they're beautiful animals. And I'll go over there and I'll take pictures of that and post those cats. So that's if you're seeing cats on my page, that's Beavis and Neo.
Oh,
yeah.
I'm glad you brought that up. Hey, Pat Marone, he was our guest last week.
Oh, Pat, hi, how you doing?
Everybody?
How's it going, buddy?
I wanted to educate myself because when we met, we've seen each other at an open mic, and that's how I asked you to be on the show.
Right.
And you were talking about Opie and Anthony, and my boyfriend was listening, and I have no idea who Opie and Anthony is, or who Anthony Cumia is.
Alrighty then.
And my boyfriend knew, and he's like, that's like not knowing who Howard Stern is.
Yeah, because they were as big as Stern. What happened was
I listened to Stern. Were they on at like the same time?
No, they were at Howard would be on in the mornings, and those guys were mostly on the afternoons. There was a point that they were both doing mornings, competing, but the shows were phenomenally big.
Well, he showed me a couple of clips from Opie and Anthony last night that I laughed my ass off. It was just the audio, and it said "wow" across it. And I was telling you, it wouldn't. I don't think that they would be allowed to do anything close to that today.
You couldn't. You couldn't. The stuff they did. The 50-gallon drum challenge.
Didn't they get fired because they said that in Boston that something with the
what happened was they were up in WAAF. It was the big rock station in Boston, and what they did was, as a April Fool's prank, they said that Mayor Menino died in a crash,
and it wasn't true.
And it wasn't true, and it caught a lot of controversy. They got suspended and stuff like that. But the backstory was that they already were in negotiations to go to WNEW in the city.
So they kind of were like, what the heck?
They screwed up. They screwed up, but they did have a catch-all on that. The biggest thing that they did that got them in major league trouble was called Sex for Sam.
Michael told me.
Yeah.
They had sex in different places.
Yeah, and what happened is that there was a comic.
See, we have to up our game.
Learn it. And oh god, the comic escapes me. But what happened? He was with his couple, and he decided to have sex in St. Patrick's Cathedral, and
not just any kind of sex, anal sex.
Yeah, well, yeah. So,
Freak sex.
Yes.
Right.
So what happened is that usually they could have just ran, but they wound up getting caught, and there was a whole big controversy, and those guys got suspended for over a year. But they got paid suspension and stuff like that. But they wanted to do their gig, and then they got back onto Sirius XM. They got XM, and he also had a great deal where when Howard Stern left K-Rock, they were going to have David Lee Roth replace Howard Stern.
I was a Stern, but I listened to him every morning on my way to work, and then he left for Sirius.
Yeah.
And I didn't know how to do that technologically. It wasn't even the money.
I think you know the word.
I would have paid for it, but I didn't know how.
Yeah.
And then he was like, all my followers, I thought they would follow me, and they ditched me like they're so cheap. And it had nothing to do with being cheap. I just didn't know how to do it.
Yeah. It was a federal case to hook all that stuff up,
And he was so angry because the FCC kept censoring on Sirius. You can pretty much do anything you want.
At that time, yes.
Now are they being more monitored?
Oh, yeah. Oh, boy.
Oh.
Yeah. There was so what happened is that David Lee Roth wasn't doing that well. And
He sucked.
yeah.
Because I was like, okay, I know who David Lee Roth is. I like that song he sings, you know.
Did you, Nana? He sings that song. It's so nice.
What's it?
Just a Gigolo? Is that the song?
No, the other one.
The other one.
The song.
Let's get.
Anyway, he sucked as a he thought it would be so easy. I just have to get on the radio and talk. He was so boring, and I was like, I listened to him. I gave him like 2 weeks. I think I gave him, and then
Right.
I was like, I can't listen to this anymore.
Well, what happened? Apparently, the management of
sucked.
K-Rock thought the same thing.
Yeah,
And
he sucked.
those guys were on XM. They had their own show on XM, and it was the last. And they really weren't thrilled. K-Rock really wasn't thrilled about bringing those guys back. They really weren't. But they had no choice. So what they did was they offered them a deal where you could do 2 hours in the morning and then go do your XM show, which infuriated Howard Stern because that's what he wanted to do.
Yeah.
These guys wound up getting. So what happened was they
Wow, I
wound
didn't
up.
know that.
Yeah, they wound up getting. They were on K-Rock for about 2 hours in the morning. Did the remainder of the show on XM, and then what happened is K-Rock changed format. So now they had their full XM show. Those guys were on XM for a while. And what happened in 2014, Ant was in the city, and he had a camera, and he was taking some pictures. And he was taking a picture of this one woman who was a prostitute or something, and she hit him and stuff like that. And it was the 4th of July weekend, and Ant was just tweeting stuff about it. And then XM heard about it and said, well, he's fired. He said, this thing, and
Wow.
if it didn't happen on a week, a holiday weekend, he never got fired. But he got fired. So what happened after that was he built a radio studio in his basement. And he used to do live from the compound in the studio on his free time. So his friend and his associate, Keith Maresca, we call him Keith the Cop, said, you've got everything down there. Why don't you do a show from your basement? Everything is down there. And they're like,
just break away from everything and just do
break
your own
everything
thing.
away for it. He goes, this was July. So they said, look, we should be up and running in August because people are going to forget. And then in August, I think it was August 2nd or whatever, they did the first Anthony Cumia show. And they had Dice as the first guest.
Wow, that's so cool.
Well, yeah, because him and he knows Dice for a while and stuff like that. And they had it at the house. And then what they decided is trying to get people out from the city, kind of a hassle. So they wanted to get a centrally located place. So they're on 35th Street, off of 7th, in there, and it's been good ever since. He built up his show, and now he's got about 4 or 5 other shows on there. So he did very well for it. He's one of the most brilliant comic minds out there.
Now, speaking of wildlife, you grew up with him, correct? So tell us some experiences that you had with Anthony Cumia and you as a kid. Do you remember any?
Oh God!
Or were you like just very well behaved kids? And
No,
went crazy
God,
later on.
God, no, God,
but
no.
before you tell the story, think of what you're going to say. I just want to say some things to our viewers. Jim Ray is saying Mandy and Bonnie need to step up their game and guess. Shut up, Jim. Dan Romano is watching. Hi, Dan. I love doing your show the other night. Thank you for having me. Lou Prats is watching. Manny Arias is watching, and he said Joe is a great comic and a great guy.
Thank you so much.
And he too performed at Westbury Music Fair and was very uplifting, giving me great advice before I performed there. He gave me great advice also. And Jim, of course, is always talking about the money. Howard Stern is worth like $600 million. He's doing fine. Bruno is saying the king of sold out comedy shows in the house, Dan Romano. And Dan Romano's saying that they're having their own conversation. Jim Reyes said, Mandy, I give you permission to talk. Mandy's been kind of quiet this show, but believe me.
I'm trying to let Joe finish a goddamn sentence.
Yes.
Let's
get
back to Joe.
Back to
you
Joe.
Asked him a question.
Wildlife being when you were kids with Anthony I'm saying it wrong.
Cumia. Actually, he
Cumia.
pronounces it Cumia.
Cumia.
It was
Tell
Cumia.
us tell us some childhood stories.
We had some wild times, but I think when the compound was up and running, the compound is his house. Big mansion's got a movie theater and videos, the radio studios down there, the stage, and we had some of the parties there were legendary. Oh, legendary!
I did see some photos of this.
Yeah, and what we would have is the Sunrise Club.
I didn't know what it was about. I had no idea.
Well, we had the Sunrise Club, and the Sunrise Club is where you drink till sunrise. And then we take our sunrise picture, and then we fall dead asleep. We just had but there was a lot of things that we did, and people that through the show you would meet.
Well, like, where did you grow up? What?
Oh yeah, we grew up in Huntington. We grew up in
Huntington,
yeah.
okay.
I grew up in We grew up in Greenlawn. Aunt grew up in East Islip, but he moved out to California. His dad had a ranch in California. So in 1977, he came back, and his brother came back. And his brother Joe, who is a close friend to this day, we play in our bands and stuff like that, told Anthony, there's a guy, Joe Currie, hook up with him the first day of school. This is high school. And Anthony and I met, and we just started riffing back and forth and joking and stuff like that. And then...
Was this during class?
It was during the cigarette time outside, during class, we goofed on everything and anything, and we still do it today. We were in the car on Friday. We were doing one of the show events on Roy's for Pennsylvania Soul Joes, and we just in the car just making each other laugh. And we have all these inside jokes we do. Sometimes he'll do an inside joke just because he knows I'm listening. But we had it. And some of the things that we had when we used to go to a rehearsal, we'd go down to rehearsal at Dare Studio. We'd go right down 231 from Elwood. And we'd be in the car, and we'd be listening to Sammy Hagar. And this is like when VOA, with I Can't Drive 55. And we're driving, and it'd be like, wouldn't it be so cool, to hang out and meet Sammy Hagar and drink with Sammy Hagar and stuff like that? Well, one night we did. They were doing an event, and I'm up on stage with those guys, and he said, Sammy, this is my buddy Joe Currie. We play in a band. You have been such a big influence on us, and we used to listen to your music to get stoked for rehearsal. And he goes, we always wanted to drink with you. We always say, he gave us 2 shots at tequila. Well, you are now, And that was one for the books.
Wow. Well,
Yeah.
Bruno is saying, Anthony said his resentment began after Opie noted online that Sirius management was happy with the new show and had gained 20,000 new subscribers. That got me, Anthony says. We had discussed it on and off how moronic management is with that type of radio. April 9th, 2015. What did
All
you
right,
did
I
you
love you, Bruno,
did
but
you
what is
Google that?
Perez Hilton.
Did you Google that,
Let's
Bruno?
do the fucking commercial so we can get back to the.
Oh my God! It is 8:00. We'll get back to this in a minute.
Joe.
Mandy, why don't you go first?
We love you guys very dearly, very dearly.
No, we have a very knowing, a very knowledgeable base.
All right. We got the Ambient Salon in Hewlett, located at 1344 Broadway in Hewlett, New York. You can call them at 516-295-4011. The Ambient Salon in Hewlett is a full-service hair, skin, and nail salon. They participate in Mondays a Racine salon, which means one Monday a month they give free spa, salon, and free wigs to anybody currently battling cancer. So if you're in New York, if you're on Long Island, you know anybody currently battling cancer, free spa services, salon services, and free wigs. We are going to have the owners of that company on in March, so you guys will get to meet them personally. Online booking at theambientsalon.com. Please give them a follow on Instagram and Facebook at The Ambient Salon. And do not forget to tell them Bonnie and Mandy from the Wildflowers sent you. Oh, and do not forget that anything we say can and will
that's
not,
important.
should not be held against us. Our sponsors have nothing to do with us. Our beliefs and ideas expressed on the show do not reflect the beliefs and ideas expressed by the people that sponsor us. Thank you kindly.
Our sponsors don't want anything to do with us,
That's
okay?
right.
We'll make it clear.
Our sponsors just want us to tell them. Right.
And Bonnie, this is Kristen Tinsley, who we also love.
Kristen's going to be she's booked for a show in April. Our other sponsor is Keys Loves Jewelry. Key Fitz is a very good friend of mine, and he's also our sponsor. And they have the amazing stainless steel jewelry, all nickel and tarnish free. Keys cutlery, knives, swords, and self-defense equipment with excellent quality for reasonable prices. You can shop online at keyslovesjewelry.com or keyscutlery.com. Or you could go see him in person at Lala's Flea Market, 1075 Portion Road in Farmingdale. you can call him at 631-379-1781. And I just saw Key on Thursday because we were roasting Dan Romano. We had a great time doing it. That was a lot of fun. And so contact Key. Go to the flea market. He's got excellent quality. And thank you, Key, for being our sponsor. So now we're going to get back to our show and our guest. And, this is fascinating stuff. So if somebody is listening about Anthony Cumia, like, I don't know, when is his show on now?
Oh, his show?
And I want to hear about your show.
Oh, okie dokie. His show is on Compound Media, compoundmedia.com. The Anthony
So you have
Cumia
to
show.
subscribe to
Yeah,
listen
you
to
do.
it?
It's a subscription
All right,
based,
then
but it's like
I won't be able to listen to it.
no, it's good. It's not that expensive.
It's not the price. It
and
means you have to technologically do something to get it.
You go
right?
you just get the app and you hit the app and it brings up the shows. You have
Get it.
Yeah.
that's too much for me.
But it's on Compound Media. It's
She
from
could do it.
it's from 4 to 6, and it's a great. He's one of the most brilliant comic minds.
4 to 6 a.m. or PM, and
PM.
what days of the week?
PM Monday through Thursday.
Cool.
And
are you a guest on that show?
I was on a couple of weeks ago, and I'll probably go on another couple of weeks.
That's so cool.
Yeah.
Now tell us about your show that you did.
Our show is called Davin's Den, and we are on every Tuesday, 6:30 to 9:30 Eastern Standard Time. We're on davincomedy.com. You go in there, you click live broadcast, and you can join the show. We're also on Facebook Live.
That I can handle.
Yeah, Facebook Live. We're on every Tuesday. And
When she's not in jail.
When I'm not in jail.
When you're not in jail. I saw that jail. And basically what we do, we talk about politics. We talk about events. We have at least four or five stories we discuss. But our biggest thing that we do is we scam scammers.
Oh, that's cool.
Internet scammers. So much so that we have been featured on American Greed on a segment they did about scammers. We are consulted by the U.S. Army because the Army has a lot of soldiers. They use soldiers' likenesses. And they'll say that they're a soldier in Afghanistan or whatever. And these scammers will scam people that way.
That's terrible.
It's awful what they do. And and a matter of fact, there was one time that that there was a scammer that was scamming this woman. And that was that said it was a soldier and wanted money. I called the scammer as General Bulldog McIvy. And I'm on the phone. It's on our best of. We have a best of CD. It's on our best of CD. And I got him on the phone. And I'm like, you're scamming everybody. And I go, we have our eye on you. We found Bin Laden. We can find you. And I go, look outside. Because I figured there's birds all over the place. It's outside. I go, you see that bird out there? And he goes, yeah, that's a robot bird. I'm watching you right now. Never heard from him again.
Good, you scared him. That's
We scared the hell out of him.
So you find people because people reach out to you saying, I feel like
sometimes because
I'm not sure about this.
Yeah, there are some scammer groups that we help scammers. But what happens is that these scammers come to us. And Davin is magnificent at it. He leads them on.
Oh, okay. So what kind of how does he strewn the bat? What does he lead strewned about?
Well, what happens is when they call up, they'll say, "Hi, how are you?" And you get into comment, "Hi, how are you?" And
you bait them.
You bait them, and it's like, "Well, my love," and they start calling you love right away and stuff like that.
So he has a picture posted somewhere or something.
Yeah, they'll post their picture, which is stolen from somewhere.
Okay.
And
it's usually somebody that looks really trustworthy.
Well, they'll steal photos of people, and they'll use that photo. And what they'll do is, they try to, get personal and stuff like that. And he goes right in there and gets personal with them. And what they do is, after a while, they want money. The biggest thing that they want, and this is a key thing if you are actually getting scammed or you meet somebody or whatever, is they want an iTunes card. Can you get me an iTunes card?
That's the big thing, iTunes card?
Because
an iTunes card.
It's easy
to cash in.
Yeah.
So instead of so when they ask for an iTunes card, he'll ask why. Well, I don't have work. It's very tough. Well, let me help you find a job.
Music is not going to help you.
He asks him to help him find a job. Then another one is well, I'm having a problem with my lawyer. Well, give me the lawyer's number. I'll call him and we'll try to work things out. And meanwhile, I had I did a character, and it's funny. his name was Dick Eldorado, which now I use as my character that I do in the Dick Eldorado show. But Dick Eldorado was being scammed by this woman, and I would write the crappiest poetry to this woman, and she wants money out of me. So she's like, "Oh, that's Bill." I'm writing the Daffodils of August, and this and then I had a cat, Mr. Whiskers, and I worked at a used car lot, and I got beat up, and I couldn't send her the check. Maybe she could send me a check. So we put them through the damn ringer, and it's hysterical what we do to them, and they deserve everything they get.
Yeah.
They're despicable, cold people. Perfect example is if we're writing to them and it's like, well, I have to go. We've invested time. We promised to send money. They tell Davin they love him. He tells them that he loves her, and they get in all this. Well, I have to go, and suddenly they start to get cold if we don't get money or anything like that. They don't get money. Now, the thing about it, we're doing a show. It's like this. We're entertaining people. We're doing a show. But the sad reality is there's thousands of people that are not doing a show that get hooked in with this.
Scared.
And then and you could go, oh, these people are dopes. No, they're not. A lot of them are professional people. They don't tell their family because they're embarrassed of what they did. They're lonely people looking for companionship. And these leeches just take everything they have. So it's great when we get them on the hook with us, and we just take them for a ride. We also had this Juliana Avalos. Juliana Avalos was a model and was also a scammer, alleged scammer, who ran some schemes with her boyfriend and stuff like that. And we investigated them, and they were going to sue. I forgot who it was. It was $1 billion lawsuit. And they were suing, I forgot what platform they were suing. And we got all this evidence, and we submitted it, and they dropped the suit. So we screwed up their lawsuit for $1 billion.
Wow, good for you.
Yeah, so it's a fun show. We've been doing it 10 years,
Professionals.
So to
it's
speak.
Like an it's like Dexter is like the murderer who kills him. So
Yeah.
Serial killers who take serial killers. You're the scammers of scammers.
Yeah, and it's a fun show to do. And we do a lot of talking on politics. We discuss a lot of politics and stuff like that.
Now you said people can comment.
Yeah,
And so what kind of feedback do you get when you talk about politics? Because one of the things that Mandy and I, we agreed, just this is our opinion, is for us, it divides the room, and we don't want to divide the room, but once in a while we'll talk politics.
Well, the whole thing about it, and we discussed this last night. There was a story that we did about a white woman who was, I believe, running for office. I forget where it was, but there was a site where African Americans and I think Latinos or something were talking, but it was an open forum. So she mentioned on the show, she mentioned on this podcast thing that because she had big lips or whatever, that she got called the N-word and stuff like that.
Oh my God!
The page called her out and said, how dare you? You don't know the struggle and stuff like that. So the debate was about whether it was right for them to call her out. Was it right for her to comment on that? And what we were discussing is basically taking a story and breaking it down, because we said the host didn't do his job. If you have controversy where you're going back and forth, but believe me, it gets heated sometimes, but we will go through everything. We're very fact driven. And that's what we like, and that's what we've been doing for 10 years. And it's funny, we comment on people on Facebook that'll say stuff but don't do the research. And that's what we do. If we're going to debate about politics, we will do our research, or we'll get. And believe me, we've stopped dead, and we don't want to discuss it. And we've gone for about an hour just on a topic going through there. But it's the conversation, taking something that you might feel uncomfortable, where somebody divides the room, but taking the division in the room and bringing the room together to see each other's point. Well, you agree or not, but no, you looked at every side of the story and you brought it. You made it cohesive. So in that, there were nights we don't. We did a little bit last night, but not much. Sometimes we do a beginning chat, so like you ladies do. You have your chat session. Our chat usually goes an hour, and then we'll go to our stories. God Almighty, last month we did almost an hour and 30 because the topic was, I mean, we were at each other's throats trying to get this topic because Davin is more of a left-leaning person. I'm more of a conservative, and we will go at it, but we don't just take his topic and leave it there.
What Mandy and I do agree on is that whatever she says, I back her up 100% for her right to say it, and she does the same for me.
Oh, but that's the whole thing. And you want to know something? That is disappearing nowadays.
It is.
Where if you say something contrary to what a popular belief is, you're called a racist. You're called this. I mean, I've had people call me Hitler, racist. Make a comment, and it's like, oh, you're a racist, and I go, you're assuming because I'm a conservative that you're assuming that I am, I'm horrible, I'm a racist, stuff like that. And I go, your assumption, you're a bigot for saying that because you don't know me. You don't know that I take things case by case. And you're a bigot. People fly off the handle. I did another one where the new Secretary of Health is I guess she was a man or whatever right now. She looks like Ben Franklin. She looks like Ben Franklin. So I posted on Facebook, I go, Biden is hiring one of his old friends, Ben Franklin, to be the health secretary.
Oh.
Well, you would say that. Now,
it's funny.
Yeah, but you would say, oh, how could you say that? So a person I went to high school with writes in and she reads me the Riot Act. And she goes, so if this was an autistic person, would you make fun of him? I go, no. And I go, are you telling me that this person is transgender, that she's handicapped? And see her no more. Yeah. So
where's your correlation there?
I wasn't goofing on the person because they were transgender. I'm goofing on them because they look like Ben Franklin. If you're a man and look like Ben Franklin, fine, equal opportunity. If you're a woman you look like Ben Franklin, equal opportunity.
Right. Everybody makes fun of everybody.
Yeah.
In the past, they used to, and everybody would be okay with being like we were just talking about All in the Family with the chair.
Yeah.
Like everybody made fun of everybody, and it was okay. And now
you can't.
Now you can't even make fun of a potato.
Yeah, I did a whole thing. Check out on my Facebook page, Joe Currie. I have Dick Eldorado, my cat, talking about a potato. And it's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. And there was also an argument I got in with a person. They had something with Hillary Clinton and fried chicken where it said 2 limbs, no breasts, and something like that. I made the comment, a social justice warrior starts writing me, how dare you say that? That's misogynistic. I go, no, it's not. It's about Hillary Clinton. Well, I've got daughters that look at this and, they might get bullied.
You know what's interesting? I belong to that group, Social Warriors, Justice for Social Warriors, because I have two autistic kids.
You out.
Yeah. So I'm
Not too jailed you.
like now, who knows? Like I belong to that group, and I think that's like I can't believe that they said that to you.
This guy, and then he goes to me, he goes, you know what, people that hear this, they could be suicidal and stuff like that. Do you realize that? And I go, yeah, for somebody that his father walked away from him and said, I can't take a ride with him. And then he put a shotgun to his head about 20 minutes later. Yeah, I get the whole suicide thing. So wrong again, so you look at these people and they don't critically think. They get bent out of shape, And sometimes I get, I have the time to do it. Sometimes I don't, but it's, it gets kind of crazy.
Well, I do notice that when I put up something political, it gets a lot more comments and a lot more attention than when I put up something that's just benign and funny.
Oh yeah.
I just recently put my page back on public because when it got out of control, something went viral and people were attacking me. So I put it on private. Now I put it back on public.
It's just like a strain of COVID. I don't know what happened.
Yeah,
went viral.
but I know now if something starts to go out of control, I'm going back on private because people threatened me. They came after me, and my boyfriend is social media. He has a fake name and Nobody knows where he really
Yeah.
lives. All my information's right out there. They
Yeah.
can come right to my house and do whatever they want. My address is there. How much
Have their
money
way
I
with
earned
you.
is there.
What are you posting?
So, as soon as it starts to get a little dicey, I know, thanks to Mandy, how to put my settings on private, back
Right.
to private. Right. When it gets dicey, I'm going back to private settings.
But here's the thing when you look at something on Facebook, if you see a topic, you need to do your research. You have to
I just stay away.
Yeah, because you got to because my show is political. We've learned to do our research. So I go on and I'll research something, look at this, look at that, and then I'll make my post. And when the dogs come a calling, I'm like, no, this is this is that, that is that, this is that, this is that. A credit to Carla Okerson, because her and I used to fight like cats and dogs on Facebook, and we finally met, and I gave her a hug and I said, let me tell you something. I like debating with you. Because she goes, you don't debate with me anymore. I go, because I like you. But
I blocked her a long time ago,
Yeah.
and I don't want to know anything about her.
Right, but
Andrew Ferdner, how are you watching? Bruno's on #private Bonnie. That's funny. Yeah, no, she and I have a history that we don't talk about people on our show in a negative way, so I won't start.
Well,
now.
but just the one thing
I'll talk
to say
to you after the show.
Just the one thing to say is like I like debating with you because it's like studying for a law exam. I go, look here, I got to do this, I got to research, I got to call this guy, So it's what. But
She's
you
a very angry lady.
Yeah,
that's all I have to
say.
But
no, she, you got to do your research. If you're going to do political stuff, also if you're going to do it on stage, you really got to be. Yeah, you gotta play to the middle.
Oh yeah, your mom's like, what happened to talking about wild animals?
There's a raccoon in the garbage pail. Okay, we brought that up.
And we're here talking, Mom.
Well, politics is like when people start talking about politics. Both sides behave like wild animals. Yeah, I mean, like,
there you go.
Both sides think they're right. Both sides don't want to listen, and both sides act like two wild animals.
It gets, you know what? I tell you, it got to the point. You guys know JJ Boyd?
Hi, Taz.
JJ Boyd?
Oh, please. Oh my God.
But let me explain. I know,
oh my God.
Cancel culture. Bonnie's already got 2 names.
I know.
Two names that set me off.
But there's
where's the matches? Where's the matches?
There's a story. Let me explain. JJ and I have been friends.
This guy,
for years.
I'll tell you after the show.
I understand.
Not
I
now.
know. And JJ can be very abrupt. JJ and I fought like cats and dogs for at least 3. I mean, really going after each other. This is an old friend.
Yeah.
And there was one time, it was 2 years ago, there was a girl that was doing stand-up. She's been fighting cancer, the poor thing, and she passed away. And they posted, God, I forgot her name at the moment, but they passed away. So JJ goes, is this true? And I go, JJ, find out what's going on and let me know. We just put the shields down.
Yeah, right.
And she said, yeah, she passed away. This is where she'll be reposing and blah, blah, blah. And I go, okay. I'll see you then. I go, oh, by the way, this ends right now. I go, because it can't take a death of an old friend to realize 2 old friends are fighting.
Yeah.
So after that, and he still goes on. But you see, I get it. But it gets to a point.
I don't want to say anything negative about anybody on this show because that's not what we're about. But when the show is over, you'll stay for a little bit, and I will tell you about both of those people and what they did to me.
Right.
And it wasn't very nice.
Right.
But that's all I have to say.
But sometimes sometimes it gets too heated, and you got to realize when it does that we're debating policy over people that are in the cap that don't care about us.
Now I have a question for you about that, though.
Yeah.
Both of those people that you just named. Did you go on their page and start arguing with them, or did they come on your page? And
a little bit of both. Little bit of both. Little bit of both.
Because I think that makes a big difference.
Yeah, it's a little bit of both.
It takes 2 to tango, and anybody that's in comedy wants this fucking spotlight. We want the attention. We're egotistical maniacs. If you say you're not, you're not self-aware.
Well, no, because when you're doing comedy, you're used to not really having any binders on and saying what you want to say. That's the essence of being a comic. That's why sometimes I'm escorted out of the supermarket. Yeah, because you say, you don't have the blinders or the chains on. So you say, and yeah, that's why comics go like that, because we're not civilians. We don't. Oh, I couldn't say that. Yeah, you could say it. You say it on stage.
I just did.
You
Can't say that. I just did.
And we're outspoken, and we call each other on stuff. So if you're outspoken and you say something like this, comics are going to come. Really, you feel that way? Blah 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 blah. You really need to know your research so you can respond back, and have a decent debate about it. Sometimes people don't know how to debate properly. It gets ugly.
I just feel that it's beyond debate. People, I'm putting myself in the same category. People have an opinion, and no matter what facts you show them, you could bring them Jesus Christ himself that would tell you something. They're not going to change their mind, and probably I wouldn't change my mind. And it's gone beyond the point of debate. No one's listening to each other anymore.
You got to remember something. Before social media, the only time when I was a kid, I don't know if you ladies know, the only time that you would hear politics being discussed is at the holiday table. When the aunts and uncles were there, that's the only time.
And then they throw the turkey at each other.
Oh no, it would get heated sometimes. Or when my mom and grandmother would be in the car and we would talk about it. And that was it.
Right.
That was it. You never heard the news. There was only 3 channels. I remember on Channel 5 as a kid, they had a debate on there every night, or maybe every other night, and that was it. Because of social media, it's the holiday table every frickin' day, and everybody's got has got their say, and that's the thing with social media and the way things are now. The way and the media plays into that. They've got us in our own camps. That's how media gets their audience. So if you're in your own camp and and something is said to the contrary, you go to battle with it. So it's a very interesting dynamic that we've got ourselves into, especially the way especially with the election. I mean, the election, was it a fair election? Yeah, who knows? But, it's something to look into. You can't go, Biden's not my president. No, he is. I don't even think Biden thinks he's his president, but, he's there.
I think he's there, but other people are making the decisions for him.
Oh, absolutely. But, my whole thing is that people voted personality over policy. I mean, whether you did dislike Trump or liked him, his policies were actually working. As a person, he's pompous. He's an idiot. He can't keep his mouth shut. He's
not a likable person.
No, he's not. So,
but he worked really hard, and he put America's first. And it's evidence in all the different things that he did, which Biden undid in the first month of the presidency. Took everything he did and took it away.
And the one thing, one debate, there's a debate you can get on with gas prices. Oh, well, since Biden came in, gas has gone up, well, yes. After the election, gas started going up. Now, the key thing was the speculators. The speculators said, all right, with the vaccines out, more people are going to start to get to work, and gas is going to be more in demand. So the price is going to go up. Now, the thing about it is that it's starting a little bit, but when they said that was far from it. Where Trump would come in, he would tweet on how the speculators are screwing the country. And he would kind of back off. Biden isn't doing that. So even though that it's really the president's, the president really doesn't have to do with the price of fuel, he could shame the speculators instead of jacking up the price of gas.
Well, we could talk a lot about that, but Corey Marie is saying hi to you. Mike Long, who I think is my boyfriend, I don't know, for some reason he couldn't get on, said sometimes someone you love and think of as friends misunderstands something that was said in a noisy room and just blocks you and never even wants to talk to you about what they think they heard. Okay, I don't know what that's about. I think that's something else. There's like so much going on here. Bruno said make love instead of politics. Yes, that's what we try to do. Usually on this show, we don't talk about politics because everybody's talking about politics, and we try to get away
That's a funny
from
thing
it.
because you said we usually don't talk about politics. We just did what, about 10 minutes, 15 minutes on it.
Yeah,
Hey, that's good conversation. That makes for a good show. Good
Yeah.
conversation. So yeah.
Well, me and Mandy will talk about that, but we'll see. Mandy, I'm going to let you have some say in this because
Joe, what is your spirit animal?
My spirit animal, I would say my spirit animal would be the bear.
Ooh, that's what I would identify as. Why the bear?
Because the bear could be quiet. He minds his own business.
Kind of cute. Cuddly.
He likes to eat food. And if you mess with the bear, you're dead.
Yeah, all right. I can
Mm.
feel that. More comfortable on water or land?
I like water. I want to come back when I get reincarnated, I want to come back as a seagull. Because
That's not necessarily a water animal.
but you stay at the beach.
All right.
You fly. You look
a lot
at
of fast food though, high cholesterol.
that, and that's don't worry. No, let me tell you something. You fly. You look at girls. You eat garbage. That's what I'm looking for. Now, what happens
But
is
it's not like you can do anything with the girls. You're a seagull. What, you gonna go in their hair?
I could just come up and go, it's fun. And a good, because what happens is when wherever you wind up, there's the reincarnation table, and they're all, I'm going to go to the seagull table. There's going to be people going, oh, don't you want to be a raccoon? I was a raccoon in the 1500s. No, I'm going to be a seagull. I want to be a seagull. So
Shane Ogden said, "Damn, that chair makes you look dapper, sir."
No, thank you so much. Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
And Corey Marie is saying that the seagull is a sky rat.
Oh yeah.
That's
They
pretty
are.
Any
funny.
animals you're deathly afraid of?
Rats. I hate rats.
Ooh.
They and I had a rat I tried to kill, and I couldn't kill him. He was in. I tried
What'd
to
you
hit.
try to kill it with?
Well, I tried to stick when he was coming out of the pail, and he ran away.
How old were you?
Oh God!
Yesterday?
Yeah, this was 5 years ago. That was 6 years, about 6 or 7 years ago. So, and I was married at the time, and my ex-wife called the rat my pet because I couldn't kill it. So here's the deal: I hated him. I couldn't stand him.
He was in your house?
Yeah, it was in my garage.
Is that
Oh
what
my
did it
God.
on the divorce?
No, a lot of other stuff. That's another show. But what happened was, what really pissed me off with the rat, because the rat knew I couldn't kill him. So
It would taunt you.
oh yeah, and I'll tell you how. I'm on my patio. This is when I smoke. I'm smoking a cigarette on the patio, and I see the rat coming up the street.
Oh God, rats
in a
are
moonlit night,
disgusting.
just happy as a clam. Going, yeah. You ladies have a favorite restaurant?
Yes.
Do you have the look you have when you know you're going into your favorite restaurant?
Yeah.
You've been looking forward to it. It's going to be a good time. He had that look walking into the street, coming up my driveway. I'm like, you son of a bitch, I'm going to kill you. And I couldn't. I couldn't catch him. I couldn't catch him. Couldn't catch him.
I used to live when I was years ago. I was teaching in Queens, and for a little while I lived in Windsor Park Apartments in
Right.
Queens, and they had this like nature walk that you could right behind my building, and I used to jog down that path, and I'm jogging down the path, and all of a sudden I see this big thing that looked like a cat, but it had that long tail. And I stopped jogging and I looked at it. And then this older man, this old elderly man, he was walking in the opposite direction. And we both looked at each other and he goes, "Yup, it's a rat." It was a rat the size of a fucking cat.
I hate rats. I hate them.
And then we both just were like, we gave each other a look like, oh my God, and we just went on.
I used to, there used to be shows with the Opie and Anthony show on Bar 9 in the city. And the great times used to Wednesday, everybody would come down, we would play. And you would pack up, there's a restaurant on the corner. They go around the street, and you used to have rats hanging up by the garbage can. I'd come by there,
Oh my
and
God.
they knew I was coming because I'm holding all my stuff. I'm like, I hate you rats. I don't like rats.
Shane Ogden wants to know, what is your favorite genre of music? Genre?
All right, let me tell
I
that.
think he meant to say
The
genre.
word. Well, here's the deal.
Because he's a musician
Wait,
too, guys.
Wait, Peter Wolfinger, I threw a dead rat in the middle of a busy crosswalk in Times Square.
Whoa.
It's horse
Ew.
running.
Oh, Peter, that's funny.
I really hope you did one of these, like,
Yeah.
T-shirt, like, at a Mets game.
You should have filmed that. That's freaking funny.
So here's the deal. Here's the deal with the word. The word is genre. I was on
Okay, I messed
Don
that up.
Jameson.
He probably typed it right, and I probably
No,
wrote it wrong.
Don Jameson. Don Jameson used to be on that metal show, and he has a show on Anthony's platform called That Jameson Show. I'm a guest on that show, and we're talking about Iron Maiden, Judas Priest, and stuff like that. And I go, yeah. I go, well, right now, I go, with that genre of music, those guys are really at the forefront. Lisa Currie is a comic. She was a co-host. She was a guest on the show along with me. 10 minutes later, she goes, "Did you say genre?" Now, here's the thing. With authority, I said, "Yes, genre." You moron! You moron! And it's been a running joke.
Genre is the correct.
Genre is the correct, but it looks like it says genre.
Yes, it does.
And I have been mercifully teased, with no mercy at all. But for this, and I don't care, for the simple reason I looked and said with authority to Lisa Currie, "Yes, genre. You're a moron. Can't be that stupid." But
That's hilarious.
Yeah.
That is hilarious. All right, so it is 8:30. We're going to say our sponsors, and then you're going to say your last thought and tell us where people can find you, anything you want to say. So, Mandy, you want to go first?
Sure. Yeah, we got the Ambient Salon in Hewlett. Give them a follow on Instagram and Facebook at the Ambient Salon. And they have online booking available at theambientsalon.com. Don't forget to tell them Mandy and Bonnie from the Wildflowers sent you.
And Keys Love Jewelry, stainless steel jewelry, all nickel and tarnish free. Key Fits. Everybody who's a comic knows him.
Yes.
He's a wonderful
nice
person.
Guy. Great guy.
Keys Cutlery, knives and swords and self-defense equipment. Excellent quality for reasonable prices. Shop online, keyslovesjewelry.com, keyscutlery.com, or visit him and his beautiful wife, Teresa, at Lala's Flea Market, 1075 Portion Road in Farmingdale. You can reach him at 631-379-1781. Can everyone please press the share button right now? I'm telling you, right? All three of us. Press the share button, share the show right now, or we'll have to beat the fucking shit out of you. And we're gonna
even when we're seagulls in our future lives.
Oh, thank you.
Shit on your blanket.
Peter Wolfinger, thank you. He said, "Great show. Have a great night, guys." The last word goes to Joe Currie, our wonderful guest.
Yes. Hi. How you doing? You could find my stuff on joecurriecomedy.com. Also, Davin's Den. At davincomedy.com. We're live every Tuesday, 6:30 to 9:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Go to davincomedy.com, click the live broadcast. You were there. Also, go to the Davin's Den Facebook page. We are there. Then we have my band, Fragile Sky. We will be featured on D-City Music on March 26th. They'll be featuring 3 of our songs. Also, an interview with Don Jameson from That Metal Show. You can go to fragileskymusic.com or Fragile Sky at Reverb Nation. Also, check out Dick Eldorado on the Dick Eldorado page, and you can see my postings there. And and that's it. And thank you for having me, ladies. Thank you. It was a great time. Good time.
Thank you so much for coming on.
Thank you.
We're gonna have to
Thank you, our audience. Share the show.
We didn't get to have
we have to have you back.
Accomplishments here, sir.
Everybody's saying have a great night, great show. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in. Please share the show. Good night, everybody. Bye.
Take care.
Love each other. Don't argue about politics. All right, we are.